Dear students, in the previous classes, we have seen different types of mental illnesses and behavior disorders. Today, we are going to discuss about how we can prevent mental illnesses and behavior disorders. These are the strategies for the prevention of mental illnesses, that is, improving nutrition, improving housing, improving access to education, reducing harm from addictive substances, reducing substance abuse during pregnancy, home-based interventions, reducing child abuse and neglect, dealing with family disruption, and intervening at workplace. First strategy is improving nutrition. Nutrition is very important for the intellectual or cognitive development of children, and providing better nutrition can improve the cognitive development, and normally the educational outcome will also be improved and there will be reduced risk for mental ill health. When we talk about nutrition, iodine is an important nutrient which is playing a key role in preventing mental and physical retardation and impairment in learning ability. So, iodine is very essential for the mental and physical development of children. Likewise, there are so many other nutrients which are playing vital roles in the intellectual development of children. So, nutrition is an important factor which has to be taken care of in the prevention of mental illness and behavior disorders. Next strategy is improving housing. When we talk about housing, we have to provide better housing facilities for children, because poor housing is an indicator of poverty and it is also an indicator of insecurity, and this insecurity feeling can affect the mental development of children and it can also cause behavior disorders. So better housing facilities are to be ensured to prevent mental illness and behavior disorders. Next strategy is to increase the access to education. If people are educated, they will be more prudent in maintaining better health, and this better health of the society can in return contribute to national development. So, improving access to education is very important in preventing mental disorders and behavior disorders. Next strategy is to reduce the harm from addictive substances. Nowadays, children are more prone to substance abuse and related substance abuse disorders. Children are exposed to alcohol and other addictive substances at a very early age, and these addictive substances are causing severe harm to the mental development and behavior development of children. Parents, media, schools and youth organizations and also the government have to pay more attention in preventing the substance abuse. Government can formulate strict laws, thereby preventing the availability of addictive substances, and total ban can also be implemented in the advertisement of addictive substances. So likewise, the exposure of children and youth to addictive substances can be prevented. Next strategy is reducing smoking and use of other substances during pregnancy. As we know, if the mother is using addictive substances, these addictive substances will reach the fetus or the child in the womb through the blood circulation, and this can cause serious physical issues behavior and intellectual disabilities in the child, and it can also cause lifelong issues to the child. Alcohol consumption and also smoking during pregnancy has to be avoided to prevent mental illnesses and behavior disorders in the children. Home-based interventions can be done during pregnancy and early infancy, and this can address factors like maternal smoking, poor social support, parental skills, and early child-parent interactions. And this will improve mental health of both mothers and the newborns. And this can prevent behavior problems in children after 15 years. Home visiting can be done by trained professionals, and they can interact with parents and children, and this can improve parent-child relationships, and normally this will prevent behavior problems in children. Next is reducing child abuse and neglect. We have to deal with child abuse and neglect because child abuse and neglect have serious impact on the mental health of children. If it is not properly addressed, it can cause serious behavior problems in children. And these children who are abused and who are neglected can become antisocial in future. These are some of the signs of child abuse and neglect: malnutrition and being constantly tired and hungry, begging, stealing or hoarding food, then poor hygiene, untidy appearance, dirty skin, uncombed hair, noticeable body odor, then ill-fitting clothes, and clothes will be inappropriate for weather. Sometimes children will be deprived of clothing for cold weather. Then frequent illness, infections or sores due to unattended physical or medical problems. Then children who are left unsupervised or left alone, or who are allowed to play in unsafe situations. Then neglected children often tell there is no one at home to take care of. These children, they will be frequently late or absent from school, or they will be disinterested in studies. Neglected children will be deprived of proper education, and they will be exposed to drugs and alcohol at an early age. How can we reduce child abuse and neglect? Home visiting programs can be done for high-risk mothers to prevent child abuse and neglect. Trained professionals can visit homes and they can interact with mothers so that the mothers can be informed about the necessity to prevent child physical abuse and neglect. Then self-defense programs can be planned for school-aged children to prevent child sexual abuse. Nowadays, there are more reports coming about child sexual abuse, and children are to be properly informed about how to prevent child sexual abuse. And this can be planned as self-defense programs for school-aged children. Then dealing with family disruption is another strategy to prevent mental illnesses and behavior disorders. Divorce is a very stressful situation for both parents and children. If the parents are living separate or if they are divorced, then it will put children under more stress, and this stress will be expressed by children in the form of various behavior disorders. Children of divorced couples, they lose their childhood at an early age. Adolescents with divorced parents, they exhibit higher levels of teen pregnancy, early marriage, school dropout, delinquent behavior, that is criminal behavior at an early age, then substance abuse, externalizing and internalizing problems, reduced academic and social competence, higher risk of unhappy relationships, divorce, and premature mortality. Children of parents who are drunkards, they often undergo stress and they will be neglected by their friends, and they often face negative comments from their friends. Parental death. Sometimes children who have lost their parents, they will be facing symptoms of anxiety and depression, including clinical depression, and this can cause behavior problems in children and lower academic success. What can be done for children who are coming from broken families? Effective school-based programs can be planned to teach specific cognitive behavior coping skills. That is, these children, they will be having more stress and they will be expressing the stress in the form of various behavior disorders. These children will be having more anger. They have to be taught how to control their anger. They have to be taught how to solve the problems, and they have to be trained in communication skills. These children are to be trained to foster the identification and expression of emotions, because these children are under stress and they are having behavior disorders and they don't know how to express their emotions. So proper training is to be given to these children for identification and expression of emotions. And if we are giving school-based programs for children from broken families, it is actually providing a social support, and the children will be brought at par with children coming from normal families. And this reduces isolation among these children and social stigmatization. Then parent-focused programs can also be done so that the parents who are in broken families, they can be trained to have better parenting skills. Parents who are divorced or parents who live separate, they can deal with emotions successfully if there are parent-focused programs. And these programs can improve mother-child relationship quality, and this can improve discipline in the family, and it can also reduce internalizing and externalizing problems in children. Even if the parents are divorced, or even if they cannot adjust with each other, they have to maintain a healthy relationship with their children, so that it will give a feeling of safety and security to the children, and the children will have normal behavior. And the last strategy is intervening at workplace. Work represents two major sources of stresses that can contribute to poor mental health. Those who are at work will be having work pressure, and this is creating a lot of stress, and people should know how to manage stress. And when we talk about work, there are people who are unemployed, and this unemployment is also creating a lot of stress to the people. It will cause depression, then sleeping disorders, and also eating disorders. Strategies are to be planned to reduce stress among people because of work pressure and also unemployment. These are the symptoms of stress at workplace, that is depression, anxiety, alcohol-related problems, cardiovascular illnesses, and suicidal behavior. Workplace interventions are to be done to increase the coping capacity of the employee. If the employee is given proper training programs, and if they are helped to cope up with their expectations, and it can improve the mental health of employees. Then reducing stressors in the work environment. There are a lot of factors which cause stress in the work environment, and reducing these stress factors in the work environment can improve the mental health of employees. Stress management programs are to be planned for the employees so that they can reduce their work pressure and stress. In this class, we have discussed about the various strategies for the prevention of mental illnesses and behavior disorders.